Level Railing System. Welcome to your San Diego Cable Railing instructional video. At San Diego Cable Railings, we recognize every deck and staircase is different. In your kit, we have provided you with a specific packing slip and recommended layout tailored to your order. Please use this video as an installation guide, and as always, if you have any specific questions related to your order, please reach out to us directly. SDCR recommends a specific 3-step order of operations to be followed that will ensure your new stair railing system is structurally sound. Step 1. Post installation. Step 2. Top rail installation. Step 3. Cable installation and tensioning. Let's jump in with the first step. Post installation. Set the first post vertical in the determined location and measure at least 1.5 inches from the edge. SDCR recommends the use of a 1/4 pre-drill for each of the 3/8 lag bolts. Install the 3/8 lag bolts for each end post. Don't forget to check your measurements along the way, as the posts will move during this process. Be sure to check your level on all surfaces when doing your final tightening of the lag bolts, and use wooden or plastic shims if necessary. Once your first end post is installed and level, it's time to install the other end. If it's near a wall, we recommend a distance of 3 inches from the wall to allow for cable tightening later. Once the end posts have been installed, remeasure the location for the intermediate posts. An easy trick is to pull a string tight from end top plate to end top plate. This will provide a template for aligning the intermediate posts and also ensure the wooden top rail will sit correctly in line when installed later. SDCR recommends the intermediate posts are spaced evenly between the end posts at approximately 4 feet apart, measured at the center of the post. Now that you have your posts installed and level, you are ready to start the top rail installation. Top rail installation. SDCR will send out your top rail lengths with 1 foot of excess material to ensure you have the flexibility to adjust for any restrictions that may be applicable for your installation. Measure the distance from top plate to identify the appropriate cut length. The excess material will allow you to overhang the top rail from the plate by the distance of your choice. SDCR recommends around 1/2 inch. Routing and sanding the edges is highly recommended for that extra smooth finish. Once you have the top rail cut to the appropriate size, you are ready to install it to the posts. SDCR recommends continuing the same order as post installation by installing the top rail screws for the end posts first and then moving to the intermediate posts. If you'd like to use a pilot hole for installation, we recommend the use of a 1/8 pilot bit. Securely fasten the top rail with the 4 stainless steel screws provided through the countersunk holes in the top plate. Be careful drilling the screws through the top plate as they can get hot and break. Once your rail is fixed to the first end post, repeat this installation for all of the posts on your run. Now you are ready to start the cable assembly. Cable installation. Unpack and lay out all of the cables to their full length, paying attention to the ends. If your kit contains stair posts, please note that the stair cable hardware is different with angled end pieces. These cables can only be used for the stair posts, and your top and bottom stair posts will typically have specific drill patterns to accommodate these cables. Start by threading the factory end of the cable to the appropriate end posts. The factory end can be identified by the pre-swaged end piece of the cable. Thread all of the cables through the intermediate posts and pull to the end post location. Install the hand crimp end piece through the end post and place the washer and nut onto the piece of hardware. Only install the nut to the point it is flush with the end of the hand crimp short stud. Pull all of the slack out of the cables one at a time in order to pull tight and make the cut for the embedment into the fitting at the length shown here. Once you have cut the cable to length, you are ready to crimp the fitting onto the hand crimp short stud and reattach the crimped fitting to the post for tensioning. You may need to use your body weight to ensure a tight crimp. Be sure to crimp 3 times. Once all the cables have been crimped and reattached to the end post, you are ready to perform the cable tensioning. Now it's time for tensioning the cables. SDCR recommends the use of a wrench for the 1/4 nut and soft pliers to hold the barrel of the short stud. Tighten the nut with the wrench while holding the barrel in place with the short stud. We recommend a tensioning sequence starting with the top and bottom cables and working your way to the center cable. You should tension the cables until you are able to pluck them tight, or use a cable railing tension gauge to set around 200 pounds of tension on each cable. Be sure to not over-tighten the cables. Finish by installing the end caps, the post-lag bolt caps, and double-checking that all other fittings are flush and tight. Now, your San Diego cable railing system is installed and ready to be enjoyed for years to come.